Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna and this morning we're visiting with Kristin Hildabrand, Warren County Extension Agent for Horticulture. Now Kristin, one of mine and your favorite vegetables is the sweet potato. We think about that being a fall crop, but now is really the time to start thinking about what sweet potato to plant.
Yes, and you know, sweet potatoes are so healthy for us. They're really good in fiber. They have nice complex carbs, but they're great in vitamins A and C. It's really good for our eyesight. It has the beta carotene option to it. But sweet potatoes, you know, a lot of times people will ask, is it sweet potato or yam? So sweet potatoes are grown here in Kentucky. Usually yams are mainly grown in, you know, other countries because of the warmer climate. But sweet potato is actually from the morning glory family. It's in the Convolvulaceae family. So when you think about morning glory, you think about the long runners, and it does have to be really warm outside before you're ever ready to plant. And it is, even though it's a potato, it's treated a lot differently from the white potatoes that we grow, the Irish potatoes that we grow here in Kentucky. So I first wanted to talk about some of the varieties that we can grow here in the state of Kentucky, and they're really broken down into two categories. So one is going to have a moister, like fleshy texture according to your palate, so it's going to be a little bit sweeter. And then there's one where we're here in Bowling Green that is a little bit drier flesh. And so with our population here, a lot of times they prefer that drier flesh because that's what they're used to in their, you know, natural climate that they were brought up in. So the one of my favorites though that you can grow here in Kentucky is the Beauregard, and it is a really sweet, moist variety, so it's going to taste really good. Another variety that you might want to try out is Hernandez. It's just a little bit lighter in color from the Beauregard. It's a little bit tapered at the roots, so it's going to be a little bit longer. There's also another one that's called Covington that might be an option. It's got a little bit more coppery, you know, kind of flesh and outer skin to it, but those are popular more considered in that moist fleshed type of variety. Now the other two that fit the drier category is O. Henry. It's a white variety, so whenever you cut into it, obviously it's going to have a white root to it. And there's also another one that's kind of making more popularity, and it's a Japanese type, and it has a purple skin to it. It's called Murasaki, and so it's a little bit more popular now with a lot of the ethnic backgrounds that we have here in Kentucky. Now, like I mentioned, it is a warmer weather crop, so you want to make sure all fear of frost has passed before you're ever ready to plant. So generally for us here in central Kentucky, we're talking about, you know, early June, mid-June. It just kind of depends on when your, you know, crop ground is ready for actually planting. And so generally it's really good for you to do a soil test with us. Hopefully you've already done it. If you haven't, you can certainly give us a call. We can walk you through the steps. Usually the soil pH though needs to be anywhere from 5.2 to 6.7, and that's just going to help keep a lot of the disease pressure off, so that way that we kind of get in that optimal soil pH range. Now, sweet potatoes, Joanna, are produced from an actual slip. So it's actually just a small transplant, and you can actually grow it yourself, but if you are growing it commercially, it's probably better to purchase it from a disease-free stock, so that way you don't have scab, which is another disease that we have with sweet potatoes. So if you can get the slips ahead of time that have a little bit of that root system already established, then you can go into the soil right with it. Generally for planting, we want you to ridge up, you know, basically your planting rows. We want them about 10 inches high. That just helps again with harvesting later on. If you're planting multiple rows, you want to space them about there, or 3 feet apart, and then you can plant the slips anywhere from 12 to 15 inches apart. But these are really gonna vine, so you really need to make sure that you've got plenty of space. Raised beds probably won't work for a home gardener in this type of situation. I mean, we've actually done it whenever I worked at the Beauregard County Extension Office, but it really crowds into around your raised beds and things like that. But if you have about 10 foot a row, you'll have about 10 pounds of sweet potatoes.
And that's quite a bit.
That is.
And so we're talking about this now so that people can kind of make plans, because a lot of times you can't walk into your department store and find sweet potato slips. So it does take some planning.
Yes, it does. And if you have questions about where to purchase slips from, you can give us a call and we'd be glad to kind of put that information to you.
All right, Kristin, we'll certainly appreciate the information. And if you have questions about growing sweet potatoes, make sure to contact your local extension office. Thanks for watching and have a great day.